See, I frankly don't know what the hell is going on. First, there is a newspaper report which makes a very serious allegation that there is cash at the judge's house.
Hmm.
Then the day goes by, we are told that the Supreme Court has transferred the judge. Then we are told that the Supreme Court has ordered an inquiry into the judge. And then at 4:30, we are told that there was no cash recovery. I didn't know that. Delhi Fire Department, I am told Mr. Atul Garg, Director of Delhi Fire Department, has refuted the reports. Please check, or is this something again on WhatsApp which is false? I was told he has. Now, yeah, so now I think where we are at 7 o'clock in the evening,
Yeah.
the Supreme Court, I believe, has clarified that the transfer had nothing to do with this incident.
Okay.
I may be true, may not be true, but it's for the public in the face of all that we have swallowed since morning, it's hard to believe. I think the only way forward now is his transfer should be suspended.
Okay.
An inquiry ordered. I'm sure he will take a few days off. And after taking a few days off, because it's not a big deal, and the Supreme Court should order an inquiry. And I am making a radical suggestion. Of course, I make radical suggestions all the time. That the Supreme Court should have a committee of 3 headed by a judge and 2 eminent outsiders.
Okay.
Conduct an inquiry into, it's a very basic fact, was any money recovered from his house? He says there was no money. I mean, the fire chief says there was no money recovered. If that is true, then a full-scale criminal investigation into who planted these reports is required.
So, sir,
And if this is not true, and money was indeed recovered from his house, then the committee will find him guilty, and then the law of the land will take its course. Not just impeachment. I'm sure he will resign and go away if he's indicted by independent. Not gray. There's nothing gray. It's all black right now. On the one hand, the newspapers wake you up to the ugliest story in my four and a half decades of the legal profession. I don't think I've ever heard such an ugly story of cash being recovered from a high court judge's house. Let me tell you, Justice Verma is one of the senior most judges, the judge I've hugely admired always. And I was devastated when I read this news. And with such confidence.
But
so this, if it shakes my faith in the judiciary, it surely shakes the common man's faith in the judiciary. Absolutely. Incidents like this are a wake-up call. That the system which we have today is dysfunctional. It is not equal to the task. We are living in very turbulent and different times. Today, this is not the 60s and 70s and 80s, where by the time news came out took weeks and weeks and weeks, etc., etc. Today is the age of social media.
Yeah.
Incident happens, it's taken on video, released in 15 minutes. The world knows what happened in your house 15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
5 minutes ago, 2 minutes ago. So, it's very, very different. And then news goes viral. So we have to cope. We have to live with these times.
Absolutely.
And we need a more resolute system, a more robust system to deal with all this. And today, when all institutions in the world, it's not just India, Trump says, I will not listen to the judiciary. All over the world, institutions are under great amount of stress because of the pulls and pressures of the world. I think the judiciary, which is a co-equal institution in democracy. Can we live without a functioning judiciary? We can't. And if we can't live without a functioning judiciary, we have to strengthen it. A reminder
that,
that the Collegium system is unequal to dealing with the kind of problems that present themselves in matters of judicial accountability. I said before the contradiction came from the Delhi fire chief, I said if the allegations are true, transfer is the wrong thing to do. If he is not fit to be a judge in the Delhi High Court, how does he
Anywhere,
become
yes.
fit to be in Allahabad?
Yes, yes.
Don't treat certain courts like dustbins. That there's a problem here, we move the person there. See, it's different where sometimes somebody has a relative practicing in the court. Then to clear up public perception, you transfer a judge. That's different. That is no aspersion on the judge. It is just living up to the principle that justice must not only be done, it must appear to be done. I strongly feel it's a reminder that we need to restart the discussion. And I see the 500 people whom we have all voted to office have to put aside their political differences. Let them fight over the Waqf bill, let them fight over the election bill. But this is one area on which they have to all sit down together, put their heads together, the collective wisdom of the 500 people we have sent to Parliament, come up with a structure.
Will
this is an existential crisis. You have to save this institution. There were certain minor criticisms. It can always be repaired. What the Supreme Court did is lay down two principles which I don't accept at all. The Supreme Court said that the judiciary can be independent only if judges are appointed by judges. I don't believe that. Verma never said that.
Okay.
Verma said it in the context of executive versus judiciary. He never said that in the context of an NJAC.
Okay.
And Justice Verma went public saying, if I see the way the Collegium is working, I regret my judgment. If you remember, he said that. So that is one. The second proposition is that the law minister can never be on a committee for appointment of judges. I don't agree. The executive is a vital stakeholder in democracy. It's one thing to say the government cannot have a say in who will be a judge. It's another thing to say that it's a flaw to have the law minister as a person on a committee. It was in 2014.
Okay.
Actually, the NJSE was a law by UPA 2.
Yeah.
And it was defended by Modi government. I think Sibal had done it.
Achha.
So, there was political consensus then. We need political consensus now. What a tragedy. If this allegation is false, then a very fine judge's image has been tarnished.
Yeah.
And if that is not a good enough wake-up call, I don't know what else will be. Yeah. I would call for very stringent action against the media if the story is false. You can't run a story like this unless you're 100% fact-checked.
Okay.
The media now is on trial.